c'est au Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, la grand-mère à l'hôpital Dantec, tout va bien, Kairek, moi ici, toi là-bas, le visa au consulat numéro 39, y'attends, à l'état civil, déjà l'an 2000, déjà 2000 ans, au Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, cinéma, le Paris.
Hi guys, welcome to Aarti Paarti, and today it's the season finale, and so we're ending with a bang! With a tea party, yay! And so we're all bringing a few things to share along with cups of tea, and so I thought I'd make a classic Indian tea snack, which is samosas. But normally samosas are deep fried, and A, I can't be bothered because it's really messy, and B, yeah, it's not healthy. So I came up with a baked samosa recipe. And the filling is made of potato and chicken and chipotle and lime and mango and cilantro. Are you ready? Okay, so let's make the dough, which is slightly tricky. Now, I'm not a baker and I can still make it, so that means you can make it too. So the first thing we're going to use is some flour. I'm using two different kinds of flour, cake flour and just regular flour. You can just use regular flour if you like. The reason I'm doing it is because when you combine the two, you get sort of a more tender pastry. But if that's too OCD for you, just use the regular kind. Then a big pinch of salt, a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. You could use yogurt as well. And then a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I have these things called ajwain seeds. They kind of taste like oregano, and they taste really good in the crust. So I'm going to add some of those. But you could add cumin seeds. You could add fresh coriander leaves too. It'd be lovely. So I'm just bringing it all together. I'm just forming a dough. If it's too wet, then just sprinkle in a little bit more flour. And if it's too dry, it's not holding together, then add a little more buttermilk. This is a very easy dough. So once it's all come together, then set your timer. I have to do this, otherwise I totally get weak and I want to sit down and have a cup of tea. Set it for 5 minutes and knead it for 5 minutes. Oops. There we go. 5 minutes. Here we go. I love samosas. They remind me of being a kid because when I was little, I have 2 younger sisters, and so the 3 of us plus my mum would go to this part of Dubai where you could buy all kinds of material because there weren't that many stores with ready-made dresses and stuff, and so you'd buy this material and then you'd take it to the tailor with the design of your choice, you know, and you'd get dresses made and shalwar kameezes made and trousers and all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of that big long shopping trip, and I'm telling you, we walked, we would stop at the samosa stand and we would each get a samosa, and it was, I think my mum got as much of a kick out of it as we did. It was just so good because they came straight out of that oil, and then they put them in these little paper bags and the oil would kind of leak through, but you didn't care, and then and they were hot and delicious and yummy, and it was just great because you were on your way home anyway, so it was a nice little tide me over. Loved it. And the only crappy part was when we'd go shopping during Ramadan and the shop would have to be closed because you're not allowed to eat outside during the day during Ramadan. I'd be so sad. I was like, but I want my samosa! So now that we've kneaded it, we have to let it chill out a little bit. Let it chill out for about between 5 and 15 minutes at room temperature. We're just trying to let that gluten relax so you don't have a really tough pastry. So I'm putting it away. And now we can make the filling. So I have a nice big potato that I boiled already. So the first thing I'm going to do is just mash this up. And then I poached a chicken breast. I'll put links up for you guys on easy ways to poach chicken. So I just poached it and I shredded it, as you can see. And now that goes in. A mango that I chopped into tiny little pieces. Now for some coriander seeds, about 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seeds. And then the zest of a lime. And then some cilantro. Yum. So pretty. Some salt. And then here's the funny one. It's not a typical Indian thing, but there's this thing called chipotle sauce, not the actual chipotle pepper. That's so spicy, I can't handle it. So I'm putting like 5 tablespoons, about a 1/4 cup of the chipotle sauce in here. And then just taste it to make sure It's salty now. Mmm. I love how zesty the lime is, how smoky the chipotle is. It's so good together. It's ready. You can throw it around and take your aggression out on it. I'm totally fine. So flour your surface a little bit just so it doesn't stick. One of these makes about 8 big samosas. I say around about. So the best thing to do is to kind of roll it into a log, just something like a cylinder, and then cut that in half. Then cut each half into 2, and then each of these will give you 2 samosas. Roll it into a ball, flatten it out, and just roll it into a circle. So roll this until it's pretty thin, like 1/8 of an inch thin. It should be about 7 inches wide, and then cut it in 2. Grab your filling and then put it in the center here. And then take one end. I see you have the flat end here. Take this side over into a triangle. I'm running just some water along the edge here, like glue. And then take this edge and pull it over like that. And you kind of have to stretch it a little bit, that's fine. Make that into a nice pointy tip. And then I sort of stretch this side out a little bit if it's not big enough. Just squeezing it. Okay. A little more water right here, and then seal it. And then I don't think this is very authentic, but I use a fork to seal it. Because I hate it when it opens. And you have a samosa. So here's a baking sheet. That's one down. I'm going to take them to my friend Elena's house because that's where we're going to have the tea party, and put them in the oven there.